The library subscribes to a number of different databases which contain scholarly journals, magazines, newspapers, and other types of sources. For your assignment, you need to find scholarly peer-reviewed journal articles. The main search screen on our homepage, RV1 Search, searches across many of the library's different databases, but it's kind of like the library's Google, where when you put in your search term, you're going to pull up a lot of results, and a lot of them are not going to be relevant to what you're looking for. Instead, you're going to go to the Databases tab where you can get to specific databases for different subject areas. So if you open up the drop-down box and scroll down the list, one database that's going to be particularly useful for your class assignments is Communication and Mass Media. If the topic you've selected deals very specifically with a type of communication, this is the database you'll want to use. You'll see that it's a database from EBSCO, so it may look familiar to you, and you may have used some of our other EBSCO databases, which means that you probably already know how to do searches in this database. You're going to put keywords related to your topic into the search box. Remember not to type in an entire question or a very long phrase, but pick out the most important terms that describe the information you're looking for in the article. So let's say your topic was very simply effective listening skills. You would type effective listening into the search box. And because you know you're going to be looking for scholarly journal articles, you can check off scholarly peer-reviewed journals from the bottom half of the screen. This will make sure that all of your results come from a peer-reviewed journal, but you're still going to want to check and make sure that you're finding an actual scholarly article and not something like a book review or an editorial or a commentary. When I do a search for effective listening in this database, I come up with 76 results. That's a pretty good number, but I did a very broad search. So you're going to notice that some of the articles are really general, like the first one, Develop Effective Listening Skill. And some of them are going to be much more specific, like number 2, which is specifically about students from socially disadvantaged backgrounds developing effective listening skills. Most of the scholarly articles you find are going to be like the second one. They're going to be studies that look at a certain population, or they look at a group of people in a particular area or a particular type of situation. Even though these are going to be very specific articles, they're still good for your assignment because you're asked to find several different articles on this topic. Underneath the title of the articles, you're also going to see the name of the journal that the article was published in. So my second result here was published in Language in India, which says to me that this is going to focus on students in India and might not be as useful to me as something that's published in a journal that has to do with American students. But depending on your topic and your situation, that might be fine as well. You can click on the title of any article. I'm going to click on this one, number 2, to read the abstract. And the abstract is going to give you a summary of the article. This is really helpful to figure out exactly what the article is about, what their study looked at, and what kind of results they found to determine if it's going to be useful for you. If the article does sound like it's useful, you're going to see a link on the left-hand side for the full text. You want to make sure you have a link for the full text so that you can actually read the entire article. If there's a message there that says the RVCC library does not have the article, then that means we only have the abstract or the summary and you can't access the full text. For your assignment, you're going to want to make sure that you can find articles where we do have the full text. If you would like to pull up the citation for this article, you can look on the right-hand side of your screen where you'll see a little icon with a yellow piece of paper and the word cite. Clicking on that link is going to open up all of the different citation formats for the article. You can copy and paste the citation that you need to use for your assignment. I'm now going to return to the library homepage because some of the topics you're researching might have to do with communications, but a specific type of communication that falls into a different subject area. So if you go to that Databases tab again, you're going to see a link that says Databases page underneath the drop-down box. If you open up this link, you can pull out databases that are specifically on topics like psychology or sociology or others. So for example, if I picked a topic like gendered communication in the workplace, I can certainly look that up in the Communication and Mass Media database, but I may also want to look in a sociology database, which will include things outside of the communications field and might include gendered journals. So I can go down to the sociology category from here, which is going to pull up a list of the articles that are in this subject area, and I see the database Gender Watch. This little icon here will open up a description of the database. I see from here that sociology and gender studies are covered in this database, and scholarly journals are included. So this would be a good database for me to search. GenderWatch is one of our ProQuest databases, so it looks a little different from the last one we looked at, but has many of the same features. I'm going to enter my search terms in the boxes at the top of the screen, and in this case, because I'm in a gender database, I don't need to use the word gender in my search, because I'm pretty much searching all gender journals. But I can use the words communication in one search box, and we'll try workplace in the other. I can also check off that I want peer-reviewed journals, just like I did in the other database, and click search. For this search, I got over 1,000 results, so perhaps my search is a bit too broad and I might need to narrow it down a little bit, but I can start looking through some of the titles to see if they're interesting. I can also take a look at the related searches that come up at the top and see if any of them are useful to me. So communication and women might be useful, but it does take out the idea of the workplace, which is important to my topic. I'm going to go ahead and look through some of the results. I actually have to go fairly far down my list before I get to one that sounds like it might be useful for my topic. So you want to make sure that you're not just looking at the first 2 or 3 results, but actually reading through the titles, at least on the first page of results. Because I do see number 7, Gendered Talk at Work, Constructing Gender Identity Through Workplace Discourse, which might be an interesting one for me to look at. Similar to the other database, if I click on the title, I can pull up an abstract of this article, and this time the link is on the right-hand side for the full text. A full text PDF is going to give me a scanned-in version of the article exactly as it appeared in print. And when I pull this one up, I see right from the top that it says it's a book review. So we mentioned earlier that even though an article is published in a scholarly journal, it doesn't mean it's a scholarly article. We're looking for articles that are research studies written by experts. This is a book review of a book that might be a really good source for me, but is not what I need for my assignment. So this would not be the appropriate kind of article for me to use. I can click the link at the top to go back to my results and see if there are others on the list. I can also use this link to modify my search. So because I got so many results, I might want to put my keywords in a little bit more specifically, or tell the search that I want my keywords to show up in the title of the article or maybe in the abstract. So if I put communication as a word I want to be found in the title, and I leave workplace to be found anywhere in the article, I do a search and I'm going to get 17 results. So I very quickly narrowed down the number of results I found, and I know that the word communication is in the title of all of the results. So this might help me find better articles. You're going to have to play around with the different keywords that you use. You don't want to just keep typing in the same keywords because you'll keep getting the same results. So I might need to try a search like communication and men, or communication and women and workplace, in order to get some different results for this type of a search. Don't get frustrated if the first set of results doesn't have what you're looking for. Try changing your keywords, or maybe just try going into a different database. If I couldn't find anything in this database, I could try the communication and mass media one, or I could try a database like SocIndex, which is another sociology database. The reason the library has so many different databases is because each of those databases has different sets of scholarly journals, and all of those are going to have different articles. So just because one database doesn't give you the results you need, it doesn't mean you're not going to find something else in another database. Because you need to find several articles for this assignment, it's a good idea to try a number of different databases. And you can do that by either selecting them from the drop-down list, using the research guide I created for you and following the links I provided, or going to the list on the databases page and sorting the databases by subject to find one that's going to be useful for the topic you're researching.